Saturn is one of the most spectacular planets in the solar system, a gas giant surrounded by bright rings that captivate humanity. Even amateur observers can identify its rings, making Saturn an almost poetic symbol of the grandeur of the cosmos. To understand Saturn, we need to go back to the beginning of the solar system about 4.6 billion years ago. At that time, a disk of gas and dust was spinning around a newborn sun, giving rise to all known planets. Small particles collided, stuck together, and formed planetesimals, which grew until they became the first planetary cores. Farther from the sun, where temperatures were low, ice became an essential ingredient for the formation of gas giants. Saturn formed in this cold region, accumulating large amounts of hydrogen and helium before the solar wind dispersed the rest. Its predominant composition of hydrogen and helium explains its extremely low density. Saturn is so light that, if there were a large enough ocean, it would literally float on it. The interior of Saturn probably has a core of rock, ice, and heavy materials surrounded by layers of liquid hydrogen. Under enormous pressures, part of this hydrogen takes on a liquid metallic form capable of conducting electricity. This metallic hydrogen is responsible for a large part of the planet's magnetic field. The atmosphere of Saturn is one of the most active in the solar system, full of storms and intense winds. Winds can exceed 1,800 kilometers per hour, shaping bands of clouds parallel to the equator. These currents move at different speeds and create complex patterns that constantly change. At the North Pole, a hexagon-shaped cyclone has persisted for decades, defying complete explanations. This almost perfect geometric shape extends for thousands of kilometers, being unique throughout the entire solar system. The most accepted theory is that the hexagon arises from the interaction between jet streams flowing at different speeds. Saturn also produces giant storms called white storms, which occur every 30 years. These storms are so powerful that they can encircle the entire planet. Saturn's rings are their most distinctive feature, a set of bright bands composed of billions of particles. These particles range from microscopic grains to giant blocks of ice. Despite their colossal size, the rings are extremely thin, only a few dozen meters in some areas. The rings are divided into sections originally named in the order of discovery, such as A, B, and C. The Cassini division, the largest gap between the rings, is a direct result of the gravitational influence of Saturn's moons. Pastoral Luas is promised, and Pandora pulls and pushes particles, keeping the edges of the rings well-defined. A hypothesis for the origin of the rings suggests that an ancient moon was destroyed by Saturn's tidal force. Another possibility is a collision between a comet and an icy moon, scattering material around. Recent research indicates that particles from the rings slowly fall onto Saturn. This process, called ring rain, means that the rings are not permanent. In addition to the rings, Saturn has an extraordinary system with more than 140 confirmed moons. The Titan is the biggest of all of them, even larger than the planet Mercury. The Titan has a nitrogen-rich atmosphere similar to primitive Earth. Its surface contains rivers, lakes, and seas of liquid methane, a unique scene in the solar system. The Dragonfly mission will explore Titan with a motorized drone to investigate its complex organic chemistry. Enceladus is another spectacular moon famous for hosting a global underground ocean. On the south pole of Enceladus, giant jets ejecting water vapor emerge from deep fractures. The Cassini mission passed through these jets and detected organic molecules and molecular hydrogen. These elements indicate that Enceladus has energy and chemical ingredients favorable for the emergence of simple life. Geppetto exhibits one of the strangest features of the solar system. One side is extremely bright and the other extremely dark. Hyperion is a moon with a chaotic shape and porous structure, resembling almost a sponge floating in space. Minor moons interact with the rings and shape their gaps with orbital precision. Saturn's magnetic field is another enigma because it is almost completely aligned with the rotation axis. This unusual alignment produces stunning auroras that glow intensely at the poles. Most of the current knowledge about Saturn came from the Cassini-Huygens mission. Cassini. The Cassini studied Saturn for 13 years, revealing details about rings, atmosphere, and moons. Huygens. The Huygens probe made the first landing on Titan, sending unprecedented images of the surface. At the end of the mission, Cassini made a final plunge into the planet's atmosphere to preserve habitable worlds. The discoveries of this mission have definitively changed our view of Saturn. Saturn continues to be one of the most majestic worlds ever observed by humans. Even with all the modern technology, it still holds deep mysteries waiting to be revealed. If this documentary inspired you, like, share, and subscribe to continue exploring the secrets of the cosmos.